ready as they crave. Thoughts wind up, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest, one of her advocacy rooted in nature, spreading joy, and other than Miss Sara Love.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Miss Sarah, on Abstract Essay. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yeah, so again, my name is Sara Love. I am a naturopathic physician in Oregon, and I am a huge fan of nature and herbal teas. And in the last year, created an herbal tea brand as well as continuing to see patients as a provider here in Oregon.
Yes, I love these too, Miss Sarah. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. And today let's talk about take back your time, your
Yeah.
break time. What is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things I started noticing over the last 3, 4 years in my clinical practice was that folks are very stressed. And when you're stressed and you're chronically stressed, it's really hard to relax. And then that causes other different health concerns. And the other thing is, if folks are working remotely, they don't necessarily have break times built into their schedules like they did when they were in their office. So, just having those conversations with people about the importance of taking your break time. And one of the ways I try to incorporate that with them is, and this is where the Evil Herbal Tea Company comes into play, is realizing that sometimes you need a reminder for this. So having a cup of tea just forces you to sit back, take a deep breath, have a nice warm cup, and relax and restore things for a little bit before you get back into your busy work schedule.
Indeed, have a cup of tea, people, to relax. Take a deep breath. The phrase take back implies our break time has been stolen. Who or what are the most common culprits? Is it external demands, our own guilt, or culture of constant availability?
Yeah, I think it's all of the above. I think when office people, and I haven't worked in an office in a while, I don't do well with office environments, but I'm told from other people, when you were in the office, you had kind of break times that were scattered about between meetings because you had to walk from meeting to meeting when you were in person in that environment. Now that everybody's remote, the schedule is such that you're going meeting to meeting to meeting. And then there's this culture of increased productivity demands and so many other things. Then there's a guilt because you've got all of these different deadlines. So I do think it's a compilation of all of those things, of the guilt, the culture, and then just the actual schedule of folks' time on their calendars.
Well, interesting, Miss Sarah. What is the biggest misconception about what a break should be that actually leave us feeling more drained instead of restored?
Yeah, and that's just it. People think, well, I can't take a break, then I'm not going to get anything done. And just having that re education that no, if you take a break, you will actually be more productive because your brain needs time to rest and to recuperate between having heavy thinking sessions and doing a big project. You need that time to rest and relax before you can go on to something else. And maybe you don't have time for a half an hour walk, but even just taking that cup of tea and taking those deep breaths and leaving your cubicle or your office, even just for a minute or two, can help with that. And you will be more productive.
Be more productive, people. Have a break. Have to listen on abstract essay. If you had to diagnose the core emotional obstacle that prevents people from taking a real breaks, what would it be?
I think it's a combination between fear and guilt, fear of looking lazy to their bosses, to their colleagues, fear of not being able to finish something. So I do see that's a part of it. And I've heard that from patients as well as other people that I know, as well as just guilt that, they should be productive or they should always be busy. When the reality is, you need breaks. Our bodies are not meant for constant work and stress. We have to have breaks. And if we don't do that, it's going to start interfering with our sleep, and then it just becomes a vicious cycle.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And Miss Love, what does research say about ideal length and type of break for cognitive restoration? Is it the classic 15 minutes still the gold standard, or does it depend on the work?
You know, I don't know that research really looks at that. If it does, I haven't seen it, but I do know that even as little as 5 minutes of a real break that is very intentional, where you're not thinking about work, where you truly are relaxing, as little as 5 minutes can definitely help. 15 would be great. If you could do it, 30 would be nice, even if you can get a little bit of movement in up and down the stairs, around the block, anything that you can do to just, again, distract your mind from whatever task you have to go back to or whatever you think that you're not able to do.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And Sarah, tell us, beyond just stopping work, what are the key ingredients that transform a few minutes to downtown or downtime into a truly restorative mental reset?
Yeah, few key elements. I mean, that's one reason why I like tea. I mean, just the simple act of holding a warm mug can trigger something in us to just have us calm down. Breathing in that steam from the herbs or whatever tea you're drinking can help with that. Making sure that it's caffeine free because caffeine might be a little too stimulating for folks, but even just those little triggers that are kind of rooted in our psyches can be so helpful. And just, I mean, and maybe that doesn't work for everybody, especially if it's hot in summertime, but trying to figure out what helps you turn off your racing mind so that you can just take a deep breath, relax. Maybe you need to go to a dark room. Maybe you just need to leave the building for a little bit. It's different for everybody. You've got to find what works for you.
Yes, definitely. What works for you, for sure, your body needs it.
Yeah.
And what kind of tea do you use, Miss Sarah?
Yeah, so I have 5 different blends that I've created, and I love them all for different reasons. If I'm feeling exceptionally stressed, I have a blend called Hug in a Mug that really, with a little bit of lavender in it, just kind of gets me nice and relaxed again. I've got a couple of hibiscus ones that are really nice. And then I've got a mushroom coffee substitute, which is also nice. But it really just depends on what is going on with you. So I like to tell people I everybody has a tea. They just don't know what it is yet. And depending on what their needs are and physically what's happening with them, they might need something different than somebody else. So it really just depends on my mood and what I'm feeling like.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And tell us, what do you think, or what does the concept of a break differ fundamentally from mere distraction, like scrolling social media?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't help. You've got to take a total break from that too. Yeah, I mean, we call it doom scrolling for a reason, right? Because it's not necessarily healthy. Yeah, I read a study recently about how people logged off of Facebook for 2 weeks and then their mental health improved. And I know for me personally, that's happened as well. So, yeah, taking a break means taking a break. It means taking, as few stimuli around you as possible, eliminating any, lights that might be triggering for you, noises that might be triggering or cause it to where you can't relax. So just figuring out what things help you relax, like looking at pictures is especially pictures of nature that might help you relax. If you can't get outside, that can help. So yeah, you kind of have to find what works best for you.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. On practical strategies and rituals. For someone with back to back meetings, what's a powerful micro break strategy they can use in the 60 seconds between calls to actually reset?
Yeah, that's tough because that 60 seconds flies by, and especially if you have to prepare for the next meeting. And yeah, I mean, even a couple of deep breathing cycles might help. Walk around a little bit, move your arms a little bit can help. Definitely move away from your screens, whatever you can do to just try to relax your brain and your eyes for a little bit can help. And 60 seconds is a decent amount of time, but yeah, I know it flies by and you've got pressures to get to your next meeting.
Yes. Good idea. Miss Sarah. You talk about talking back your break time.
Mhm.
What's a simple ritual to start lunch break that signals to your brain, I am now off duty? And how do you protect it?
Yeah. So honestly, I mean, myself included, I have a calendar that is full. And if I don't schedule it, it's not going to happen. And similar with budgets, how you budget your time is how you prioritize things. So if you don't schedule it, you're not going to be prioritizing it. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but it is so important to schedule that because then it's telling your brain that that is a priority, that it is important to be on your calendar and you do need to take care of yourself. So I think that's kind of the first step I always recommend for folks. And again, I have to do this too. It doesn't come naturally. So that is a big one. And then taking it seriously, like, okay, if you need to set a timer on your phone or your watch or whatever, you can easily do that. Take that time. Don't listen. Don't only listen to calming things, look at calming things, and then go back.
Yes. Go back, relax, take a deep breath. How can we physically or digitally design our environment to protect our break time?
Yeah, I wish I had a good answer for that because it's so hard. I mean, whatever working space you're in, trying to design whatever, if you need paintings on the walls, pictures on the walls, if you need your screen on your phone or your computer to have a background image that's, soothing and relaxing to you. A lot of people like beaches. So just trying to think of those things. Have, if you've got pictures of your kids or your grandkids around, those create joy for a lot of people. Just something that will spark a little bit of joy. Flowers, I mean, any number of little trinkets. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Sometimes the simplest things are the most effective.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Miss Sarah. On modern challenges and boundaries, in a world of hybrid work and constant notifications, what is the most effective single boundary to set to defend your break time from digital enroachment? Oh, I like
Yeah,
the word
that's
enroachment.
Yeah, that's so hard. I mean, I'm self-employed, so I create my own schedule. And yes, I have to work around other people's schedules too, but I'm in charge of my calendar. When you're in an office or you're an employee, you're not necessarily in charge of your calendar. So it's a lot tougher to be able to establish those boundaries. But figuring out what's going to work for you. And for some people, maybe they need to look for different employment. And I get that that's a challenge and that may not be realistic for a lot of folks. So coming up with, again, like you mentioned earlier, 60 seconds, trying to figure out a 60-second, just quick turn off, turn back on, and go back. But trying to, if you need to start with baby steps, great. That's what you got.
Hmm. Yes, baby steps, people. And Miss Sarah, what is your advice for someone who manages a team on how to model and actively encourage true break kicking or taking without hurting productivity?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think what bosses can do for their direct reports is in their one on ones or whatever accountability schedule they have that as part of the accountability. Like, are you scheduling 15-minute breaks? I don't see it on your calendar. Why is this not on your calendar? Okay, great. Now we've got them scheduled. Are you taking them? So we've got kind of a two-pronged approach there, making sure they're scheduling and then making sure they're taking them. And I think having managers supportive of that, knowing that they will be more productive if they're fully taking their breaks, I think it's again a super supportive culture with that.
Yes. And on different types of breaks. How should the purpose and structure of a break differ if your goal is to spark creativity versus reduce stress versus overcome mental fatigue? What is all about?
Yeah, that is a great consideration for folks. And I think for everybody, they need to come up with their own method and plan and figure out what works best for them. For some people, journaling works really well. So just writing pen and paper. Some people, going outside works really well for sparking creativity. Um, yeah, for me personally, I have to go outside for a little bit and walk around for a little bit. Movement helps a lot for me to spark creativity. So everybody is a little different. And I think folks need to try different things and don't be afraid to try different things and figure out what works for them. And a lot of times it's simple things that work the best.
Wow. Empowering answer, Miss Sarah. Empowering indeed. How does a truly restorative break look like for someone in a physically demanding job versus someone in a cognitively draining one?
Yeah, I mean, great question. For those that are in the cognitively draining one, it's going to look like they can focus again because a lot of times folks report brain fog. They are slower to be able to respond to things. So, having a restorative break means that their mental clarity is back. For folks with physically demanding jobs, absolutely, that's tough. They have a little different requirements, as you alluded to. So they just need to be able to sit down and relax and just drink some water and take some deep breaths because that, those jobs are really hard and folks in those jobs have to retire earlier. So making sure that they are taking care of themselves is important.
Truly, truly important people. And on integration and long term change, Miss Sarah, how can we audit our own relationship with break time? What are the signs that we are not taking breaks effectively?
Well, if you're not taking breaks effectively, you're still going to be exhausted with, brain fog, not able, function well. You're waking up exhausted. So those are kind of some of the big ones I see. And then if you do start taking your breaks, you should be sleeping better. You should be feeling better. Your brain should be functioning better. And you shouldn't be as stressed or as irritable. Just, that's one of the other things I see a lot of is people are just quick to respond to something instead of taking a deep breath, thinking about it, and then responding.
Yes, responding indeed. And Miss Sarah, for the chronic and saying, I'll just power through person. What's a compelling evidence based argument for why taking a break is the most productive thing they can do?
Yeah, I mean, just education around they can't do that forever. At some point, their body will start to break down. So, looking at their long term goals, where do they see themselves, and reminding them that life is fleeting and what do they really want to do? Because the last thing they would want is to retire and then not feel good and not be able to enjoy that. So just making sure that they are taking care of themselves, taking those important rest breaks so that they can enjoy life and have fun and really enjoy spending time with their family or doing their hobbies or whatever they want to do because hobbies are important.
Yes, hobby are important to relax ourselves. If your hobby giving you something that relax you, why not do it and do it and do it? If someone successfully take back their break time, what positive spillover effects might they notice in their overall work quality, relationships, and personal well-being?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's subtle so much of the time, so they may not realize it until you do like a 3 month look back and be like, well, 3 months ago, you were saying this, this, and this. Now you're saying this is better. Your sleep is improved. You're able to work better and more productive. You're not getting in fights with your colleagues or your spouses. So that's kind of what you see. It's always the little things that you kind of have to root out and look at over time because nothing's going to happen overnight. This is a long process and it's a journey.
Yes. It's a journey.
Mhm.
I like that. Miss Sarah, it's a journey, people. For the listeners in action, Miss Sarah, what is the smallest, least intimidating first step you'd recommend to someone who feels they have zero time for a break to simply notice how they spend their downtime?
Yeah, so if they're reporting no time for a break, I'm going to talk to them about their days off before I talk to them about their days at work or at their place of employment. So look at that and how can we instill a importance of rest and relaxation on those off days, and then how can we slowly build that into their work day given whatever external factors they have with their calendar at work, and just talk about the importance of taking those breaks. But if they can't properly relax on their days off, it's going to be much harder for them to start relaxing on their work days.
Miss Sarah, what are your short term and long term goals?
Ooh, for me personally,
Yes, please.
yeah, short term, I am enjoying getting this tea business up and running and having a lot of fun with talking to folks and educating them on different tea blends and how teas can be incorporated into their daily life. That's been a lot of fun. Long term, personally, I've got some running goals that I would like to get through in 2026. Professionally, continue to build and scale my business. So those are kind of what I've got going. But yeah, I get back on the running trails in the rain and see how it goes. This winter's going to be interesting.
Interesting indeed. For sure, Miss Sarah. And good luck to your goals and looking
Thank
forward
you.
for more success.
Yeah,
And what
thanks.
will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be entrepreneur like you?
Oh, if they want to be an entrepreneur, well, have a clear vision. That's been the biggest key for me is having a very clear vision of what I want to do and essential blocks of what I need to do to get there. That's one thing is having that clear vision. And two is surround yourself by people who are rooting for you to succeed and are willing to give you honest feedback.
Honest feedback indeed. And thank you for that advice, Miss Sarah. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. My abstract poetry is in second season. I'm a book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in third season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, love letters, movie 101, review music 101, our fourth season, and science 101, sex 101, second season, and my baby podcast, mental health 101. Law 101, Bible verses 101, Entrepreneurship 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Sarah, imagine the world. Okay, imagine something that bigger than yourself, where everyone had mastered this principle. What would be the difference about our workplaces, our creativity, and our collective stress levels?
Yeah, collective stress levels would be a lot lower. I think we would have more effective communication. I think folks would be better able to listen to others and not just react to what they're saying. I think those things would really start happening. And with that, you could be more productive, have better teams. And I think being able to work with other people that have different experiences than you and realizing that your experience may not be the right solution, that other people's experiences are hugely valuable. And I think being able to take those things into account is so critical. And that's hard to do unless we're in a good, healthy place to listen.
a healthy place to listen. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Sarah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or anything you want to promote on Abstract Essay? Yeah.
Yeah, so my website is likealeaf.com, LICHENLEAF.com. Instagram at Like and Leaf.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Sara Love because if you support her for more and more empowering, rooted in nature, that will have enjoy. So, Miss Sarah, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Monica, people, see you soon.